Hello, my name is Garrett Einarelli. Good afternoon and welcome to our show. Today we have a special guest, Chris Wilembrecht. He is a filmmaker and works as the Director of Acquisitions at Accord International Midnight Releasing. Chris, welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. To start the show, why don't you give me a brief description of what it is that you do for Midnight Releasing?
Okay, I'm the Director of Acquisitions, so I acquire films for this company. That basically includes scouting and locating any upcoming independent films that might be looking to get out to the masses.
Very cool. So what is it that they have you do on a day-to-day basis?
Essentially, I scour the internet, I connect with filmmakers, I go to film festivals, I get involved in any kind of film events that I can to meet filmmakers that might be looking to get their film out as far and wide as possible.
Sounds like a fun job, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris, filmmakers come in all different breeds, and many see different appeals in film, from entertainment simply through telling stories or creating beautiful images, to questioning ethics, exploring the complex human condition, to changing minds and sparking social change. Tell me, what are some of the aspects of filmmaking that appeal to you?
It's definitely the collaboration for me, the creative process and working with other people to bring something from script to screen. So, you know, and of course showcasing your work as well and just getting out there and being a part of that community. Also, it's very good for getting a message across or just showcasing any kind of creative art or talent, you know, you might have.
No, that is very true, Chris. Absolutely. Thank you, Chris. Well, it's time to give a shout out to our sponsors, to Clean Hands International. Thanks for keeping our world germ-free. And to the Litter Monster. Please don't hurt us. Here are some advertisements. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with guest Chris Wilembrecht, a filmmaker. Chris, I think our audience would like to see something that Midnight Releases has, well, released. Do you have something good for us to feast our eyes upon?
Sure, yeah. So what you're about to see is a film that my company put out the end of 2016 called Knucklebones. It's an independent film made on a modest budget with a lot of creativity and a lot of horror. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty sweet. I say we take a look at that now. I just can't wait to see it.
You want to summon a demon?
Okay, who doesn't want to try summoning a demon? 3-2. You lose.
We better get ourselves a demon.
Nice roll. Now what?
Please tell me you kids didn't.
We did.
Are gonna have a lot of fun together.
That was intense. I don't want to mess with that guy. Chris, the production value of this film looks fairly high. Can you tell us about the making and producing of this film?
Yeah, well, I didn't make the film, but I can tell you a little bit about it. It was made in Texas. Yeah, for a fairly low budget, they just kind of got all the best people they could find as far as actors and their crew goes. Everything was done practical effect, you know, no CG in this film. I think it was shot fairly quickly, maybe over a span of 2 or 3 weeks in total.
Oh, no kidding.
And it does have a couple B-movie actors and actresses in it that you might recognize from other projects. So they really utilized what they had for what little they had to spend.
Well, that's very cool, Chris. I'll have to check out the movie. I know you're a busy guy and you do more than just filmmaking. These days, podcasts are a big thing, and everybody is listening to the radio, labs, TED Talks. There's endless numbers of radio talk shows on endless numbers of topics. Now, Chris, I heard that you are actually a part of a podcast that takes some dedication. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So it's a podcast that revolves around the idea of cult films. So a lot of the stuff that you've seen from, you know, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, that was kind of the birth of the cult film. Usually films that weren't successful when they first came out, oftentimes box office flops, and then over time gained a following because of one reason or another, whether it's so bad it's good, or it's got great effects, or, you know, the acting is just atrocious, so people put it on for fun. There's tons of them out there, so my podcast covers a lot of those films, and we go back to see if they still hold up.
Okay, that's awesome. And then where can our viewers find your podcast?
You can find Cult Film in Review on the podcast app if you have an iPhone or iTunes. We also have a website, cultfilminreview.com. You can listen to all of the episodes on there, and there's a bunch of other stuff on there too, articles and rating boxes and different types of media that kind of revolve around that whole world.
Oh, incredible stuff, Chris. And I'm aware filmmaking and podcasts aren't all that you do. I also got a wave that you were working on a VHS project. Now, Chris, we all remember the death of VHS back in 2008. Why on earth is making one something you want to do again? And what is it that you are doing exactly?
Yeah, it's definitely a nostalgic thing. I grew up in the 90s, so I grew up going to the video stores and renting VHS, and there was something magical about, you know, going around the store and picking out that one film, something that you don't quite get from like VOD streaming services now. So there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do, and there's a lot of films that just aren't being made on this format anymore. It's a lot like a vinyl record, although we have seen a resurgence in vinyl records. So I want to take films that maybe never got that kind of a release and do like a limited run and redesign the box art and really give it some attention.
Well, that's exciting stuff. Yeah. Do you have any plans on where you're going to start with that?
It's under wraps now, but we're in the early stages of making those decisions.
Well, we look forward to hearing more about it. And Chris, it looks like our time is up. It was a pleasure having you on our show today. We wish you the very best and hope to bring you back when VHS comes out.